to be. No? You're good, Justin.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Residence Life and Housing Services, to our speaker series. Today, we have a phenomenal guest. I know y'all are really, really excited about this one. I know that I'm excited about this one as well. His name is Jay Harris. Everybody say hey to Jay. Jay, I don't know if you can see everybody waving, but
hey, everybody waving. What's going on?
They
everybody
are there.
Waving and whatnot.
All right. Now, Jay doesn't need an introduction at all.
No.
You probably recognize him. I'm going to give you a small one, though. He's an American journalist who's worked with ESPN since 2003. I'm assuming right now you're working from home like everybody. Are you still in the studio?
No, I'm going to the studio.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. You've seen him on SportsCenter. You've seen him on a variety of different shows on ESPN. Outside the Lines, NFL Live, Baseball Tonight, Cold Pizza, First Take Friday.
You can stop.
That's all of them. All right, everybody. Jay Harris, how you doing today?
I'm excellent. How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. How have you been during this quarantine?
A lot of time in the house.
Okay.
Like everybody else. I mean, you know, it's a pain in the butt, but it's something that we have to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is what it is.
Yeah. You have any funny quarantine stories?
No.
Oh, he's got to think about it. He's like, no.
I was trying to come up with something. Something funny happened. No.
Like the other day, I walked in a grocery store. I saw a woman with a mask on, but it had like a split right in the middle. Like kind of super defeated the purpose of what this was. So,
did you see that, or did you see that? I saw that on social media somewhere.
I had one that I saw. She had one? Like a
seriously.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't going for it. Someone probably should have told her. She probably didn't even recognize. So,
no. See, I have to control. It's not a funny story. I have to control my temper because I can be kind of abrasive when I want to be, which is why I try not to be. But every time I see someone without a mask in a store, it bothers me. Like really bothers me.
Now you're currently in LA, right?
No.
Okay, where are you currently located?
In Bristol, Connecticut.
Okay. Because I know in PA, that's where we're located. We're about 30 minutes outside Philadelphia. You aren't allowed to go into any establishment without a mask on.
Yeah, it's probably like that here too. But, you know, some people are just hard-headed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So how's the scope of your job changed since this virus has happened?
You know, there are no live sports to cover. So we have to be creative when it comes to highlights. We have to be creative when it comes to filling out a show. There's lots of news to talk about.
Yeah.
Once NFL free agency hit, and and unfortunately we were on the air yesterday. Hannah Storm and I were writing the show when we got the news that Don Shula died. So about an hour before the show, we scrapped what we were originally going to do and put together a whole new show. We did 2 hours of Don Shula and lots of interviews. So, I mean, there's breaking news. There are things that happen. You know, you just go about your job and whatever happens every day, that's what you do.
Absolutely. Now, there's no good time for a virus to hit, but I think that if it was any time that it was going to hit, it was a good time for the news with the NFL draft coming up. Can you tell me a little bit about that process and how y'all planned for that? Because it was cool to see everybody's stuff from different places in their houses and stuff. I mean, I know it was like a quick turnaround. So talk to me a little bit about that.
I don't know exactly all the inner workings, but once all the people were working from home, that just seemed to be the thing to do. The thing was trying to figure out how the teams were going to do it.
Yeah.
Which is probably why it was, I forget how many millions of people watching the most watched draft ever, I believe.
Yeah.
Because people were just trying to figure out, I wonder how this is just going to go bad. Yeah. But I was never worried about it because we do it every year with our fantasy football drafts. We draft from remote locations on computer all the time. So, I mean, just stop whining and do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, has there been any, I know for a fact, at least where we work, individuals trying to use this Zoom thing because it's been changing, that people might leave their audio off. Like today, I sneezed and I had my audio on, and Leah was actually talking, and I sneezed right in the middle of her saying something. You know, have you seen any funny mishaps with that?
I mean, we do a lot of FaceTime interviews, and they'll drop. We lose audio. audio. I had an interview with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the audio was choppy. It was bad. We fought through it because it was Kareem. I mean,
yeah.
But it's just like, it's breaking news. Stuff happens, and you just adjust. It's live television. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. It is what it is, and you just deal with it. People understand that you have problems and you're a human being. Nothing works perfectly all the time. So if you sneeze, God bless you. Excuse me. Yep. Sorry about that. My bad. Let it go and just keep on trucking. Again, it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel that. So we got a couple students on here. We have also people who are watching it live on Facebook. So we're going to go back both ways. So our first question is from Suraju. Suraju is actually the one that got us connected with you. So Suraju, go ahead. You can unmute yourself, unvideo yourself. You can go ahead and ask your question. Is he there?
I don't know.
Suraju. Okay, we will go next. Like I said,
wait a minute. There's some chat questions.
Yeah, they're coming in. He was the first one, so we'll let Rohan go next. So Rohan, go ahead.
Hi Jay. When did you first figure out that you wanted to be a journalist? That's my question.
When I was in the 11th grade, I took a career aptitude test, and I scored well in the area of interpersonal skills. And I looked at the jobs underneath that category, and I think journalist was the third one, the third occupation. I said, okay, that's what I'll be. And I always liked writing and talking. And at the time, I was on the yearbook staff, and so it just seemed like something that I would enjoy doing. So that's when I made the decision when I was in the 11th grade.
Very nice, very nice. Looks like we got Suraju back. Suraju, are you back with us?
Yeah, I had to help someone with another Zoom meeting that they're in. So if I missed it, I apologize. Jay,
it's all right.
First time, long time. Nice to finally get to talk in real time. I was just curious what the studio's like with all of the, quarantine things. Like, what precautions are they going through? Like, what does the campus look like? Like, is it kind of like a ghost town, or?
Yeah, campus is pretty much deserted. Everyone who can work remotely is working remotely to keep most of the people off of campus. The cleaning was always good, but it's stepped up. We moved from the big Sports Center studio into the smaller ESPN News studio, so there's less crew, less people again. Okay. Any non-essential, all of the shows were essential, but the 7 a.m. Sports Center has gone away for a while, and we start the day at 8 o'clock with Get Up. So they've just tried to come up with a programming schedule that still allows us to do what we do, but keeps as few people on campus as possible, but it allows us to give or deliver the best product we can. Yeah. And I think so far so good. I think they did a tremendous job with figuring all that stuff out.
That's great. And I'm not going to even pretend to not fanboy right now. I literally watch you every morning. I'm not even going to hold it in. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I noticed the studio and I was like, oh, it looks a little different. And I saw you're at opposite ends of the desk. So I figured.
Which is really a pain, to be honest with you. I always forget. I'll sit down and I'll go to my normal spot, and I'm sitting there talking to Hannah. Go, why are you so close? Because I am. Let me move away. Just let me move over to my mark. But it's just the world we live in right now.
Appreciate that.
So we got some people watching from Facebook, and one of the questions are, how do you deal with information overload? So I don't know what exactly that means.
What exactly does that mean, information overload?
I'm gonna further elaborate. I guess what I'm thinking is, since you are a hub of information, as you are getting things in real time, because I'm sure a lot of people are like, hey Jay, did you hear about this? Or hey Jay, where'd you get this information from? How do you deal with all of these fast moving pieces?
It's not that fast. I mean, in our newsroom environment, there are things sometimes that we will get before anybody else, and there are things that other organizations get before us. So we do like everyone else. We search social media, the Associated Press, websites, folks' Instagram accounts, folks' Twitter accounts, making news. If Tom Brady makes a statement and throws it up on Instagram, we'll get that. Somebody will see it. Hey, Brady just said something. It's not necessarily information overload, because I'm not looking for all the information myself that we put on the show. We have like some great news editors, and again, the producers and the coordinating producers and the researchers and the production assistants. It's a big team.
Yeah.
So a lot of times something will happen and I'll go, I hadn't heard it. I don't know. Because I don't watch everything. I can't watch everything. You just can't, because I have things to do. Like we just got back from Lowe's. We're painting the front room. I got stuff to do. Sports Center's on right now. I'm not watching it. I'll catch up later.
Yeah, I get it. Derek Hess on Facebook says, Jay, do you see ESPN talent working remotely as something that might become standard now?
Well, some people worked remotely before. There have been people, Adam Schefter for one, Adrian Wojnarowski there are many people who have home studio setups. So I don't think we'll do Sports Center remotely because there are too many moving pieces, and you need a control room. And if the director and those folks have to be at work on campus in the control room, I should be there too. I'm not that special. So I don't think you'll ever see Sports Center remote, but the other folks, they were doing that already, having home studios and working from home.
Yeah. I think some of the biggest things that we're like paying attention to that are coming out. I mean, again, you can never pick a timely time for a virus, but I think there have been some things that have been coming out that have been right on time. One of those things being The Last Dance, which has been on ESPN on Sundays. I know I've been enjoying
Well, that was
it.
coming anyway.
So that was going to come regardless, but the timing of it was right.
No, the timing of it was moved up. It was set for the NBA Finals. It was going to go in the off days of the NBA Finals. In June is when The Last Dance was coming. But with the pandemic and wanting programming, the ask and the decision was made to push it up a little bit, and it's still not finished. They're still editing the later episodes. I mean, I don't think we're up to 7 and 8 now. I don't think 9 and 10 are finished editing. They're still working on those.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if people know that. I mean, you know that, obviously. I thought that, for the rest of the Sundays, they're just going to play out until we see all of them.
I mean, we will. They will. It'll be done. But they're just still working on it now because they pushed it up a little bit.
Okay.
But that's out there. But that's out there. That's like, what website did I see that on? I think I read that on the internet before I heard internally.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. We're here with Devin Alexander. Devin, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, Jay.
Hey.
Yeah, I was curious. So what are your thoughts on this new G League and the impacts that will have on the NCAA and the whole recruitment process? I know it's a new thing and we're seeing a lot of it in the news here.
I don't know. I mean, we've tried it before, and this is a more concerted effort with salaries and big salaries and all that stuff. People really, I want to go work on my game and then go to the NBA. Hopefully, it'll be folks whose game is worthy of jumping right in. I haven't followed it much. I haven't read up on it a whole lot, to be totally honest with you. I kind of wish there was a mechanism. I'm old school. I want kids to go to college. I understand you're good enough to go to the pros. You should go to the pros. But as much as you can, I would love for kids to go to college for multiple years, because I love the college game. And it kind of frustrates me every year that I have to relearn a roster because everyone has gone pro. Well, this year would have been a great NCAA tournament because I had no clue. I mean, especially with Dayton. Really? Dayton?
Yeah.
So I would like them to go to school. I hope the opportunity of the G League is used and they grow as basketball players and they keep growing. For some of our young men, tunnel vision is good. I mean, I had it and wanted to do what I'm doing. But professional sports is a business, man. It'll chew you up and spit you out. And once it has no use for you, then you got to figure out something else to do.
It's so funny. My dad always says that he loves, like, the heart is in the college game. Like, he loves watching college basketball, college football, just because, like, yeah, it's so funny. That's something he always said. So that just struck a chord with me when you said it. But I was curious, if you have like Is basketball like your favorite sport to cover? Do you have a favorite? Do you just love watching like everything, reporting out on everything?
It depends on the season. I mean, I grew up playing a lot of basketball, so I love basketball. And I really, really love the NBA. But, every time there's a golf major, golf is my favorite sport. During football season, I'm a football fan. I love the Stanley Cup finals. Hockey playoffs are the best. I get up for the World Series, not so much the regular season because the baseball season is so long, but the playoffs and the World Series, I love it. So March Madness, I'm kind of seasonal.
You got to be like a jack of all trades, when you're reporting out on all of them. I feel like you learn to love all of them. And
yeah, you do. Yeah. You have to know a little bit about a lot of things. So I try and do that.
Are there any sports you don't like to report on? I mean, you don't have to tell us all the secrets because
I would tell you.
It looks good.
No, I would tell you. No, I there's nothing I don't like doing. There are names in soccer and hockey that befuddle me the first or second time that I have to say them. Other than getting someone's name right so their mama doesn't call in and curse me out. Other than that, I enjoy doing it all.
Nice. So we got another question from Suraju. Suraju, you're up.
Appreciate it. I am curious, kind of a similar segue. What's one of the strangest things that you've had to cover, whether it be at ESPN or outside of ESPN in your career, that you're just like, why is this news? Why am I paying attention to this?
Strange is, I don't know if I would call it strange, but the first time that I was on the air and I was new to ESPN and we did the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. And it was a really big deal. I didn't understand how big a deal it was. And I forget who I was talking to off air. And I think I said something flippant about, eating hot dogs. And I got schooled in that moment about, the history of this and the eaters, they're professional and it really takes hard work and it's on their bodies. It's a grind, it's blah, blah, blah. And it's almost like, it's a niche sport. It's a niche event, kind of like professional wrestling fans. Don't tell a pro wrestling fan that it's fake. It's scripted. There's nothing in that ring that is fake because those guys are serious athletes and serious acrobats and some of the stuff that you wouldn't try to do. If anyone gave you $1 gazillion, you wouldn't get in the ring and do that or let somebody hit you with a chair or figure out how to land, all that other stuff. So covering the hot dog eating contest the first time was a little different. But then you learn to, every 4th of July, here we go again. Joey Chestnut, back when Kobayashi was doing it, let's go. Let's eat some hot dogs and see if you can break this record again.
I will say I do eat Nathan's now because of ESPN's coverage of the hot dog eating contest.
I'm sure Nathan's is happy to hear that.
So we got a question from Alma. Alma, you're up.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, greetings from Macedonia, from overseas.
Hey.
I would like to thank Justin for including me in all this. I'm so happy, so excited. Happy to see you, Jay.
Thank you, Alma.
Else. All right, so my question is, what was the funniest thing ever happened to you during your career? Like something that you always remember and makes you laugh.
There have been a few things. When I first started in television, I was doing overnight news updates at the NBC affiliate in Pittsburgh. And I had, I guess what you would call an equipment malfunction at the end of my my minute-long segment. My earpiece just popped out of my ear like that. And all of my friends for the next 3 or 4 days were just laughing at me because my earpiece had popped out of my ear on the air. My funniest thing probably was more recent, was an interview that I attempted to do with the boxer, Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. And he really wasn't feeling being interviewed that day. He wasn't trying to play. He didn't. It was a tune-up fight before his next fight with Canelo Alvarez, and I guess Canelo was on his mind. He didn't care about this guy he was fighting. This is coming up Saturday at Madison Square Garden. First name Steve, I can't remember his last name. So I asked him, how much do you know about your opponent? And he said, I know his name is Steve, and he's a boxer. Okay, all right. So I asked a couple more questions, and by this time it was like he just one-word answers. He was late for the interview to begin with, and we had to push it down in the show because he just hadn't gotten there yet, which should have told us something. Yep. Okay, that he wasn't really into it, which is fine. That's okay. And then it got to be kind of a joke, and I'm sitting there trying to talk to this man, and Hannah Storm is sitting next to me just laughing her butt off. So you could hear her laughing. It was so funny. And so I let him go. It's like, okay, I guess you don't really want to talk, and good luck Saturday. See you later. And he signed off, and I got a text from Charles Barkley, and he said, that was a horrible interview.
That's funny.
And I said, yes, Hannah was laughing at me the whole time. He said, I was too. It was just that bad. But, it happens.
Who's your favorite like co-star, like on the set? Like who do you like hanging out and reporting with the most?
I've had several over the years. Right now it's Hannah, because she's just the absolute best. Professional, preparation wise, performance. I just like watching her work because she's just so good at what she does, and she's been so good for so long. But I've had a few. I did the 6 o'clock show with Brian Kenny for many years. My buddy Mike Hill, before he went to Fox Sports 1. I like working with everybody. Bob Lee, Linda Cohn, Steve Levy, John Butcher Gross, you name it. L. Duncan, Michael Eaves. I don't have anyone that I don't like working with because they're all really good and we all have a good time.
Okay. We got our last couple questions rolling in now. So Rowan, go ahead and ask your question.
So my question was, obviously you're around sports a lot. I was going to ask like what team you like the most, or which team do you follow the most?
We were in Pittsburgh for 12 years. So I'm a Steelers, Pirates, and Penguins guy.
God.
What, I got to go now? I got to sign up because you're close to Philly?
We're near Philadelphia, so you already know those problems in the Keystone.
You want me to go get Kevin Nagandi? Would that be better? So
guy? I mean, you're following them, but like, are you a fan of them? There's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a big Old Dominion fan because I went to Old Dominion.
Oh, okay, very nice. Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So since we're talking about Philadelphia a little bit right now, what do you think about?
We weren't talking about Philadelphia. We were actually talking about Pittsburgh, but that's okay. You segue how you defend. Yeah, you need to segue.
How do you think Philadelphia is looking football wise for this season?
I have no idea. I don't know how anybody's looking football wise. That assumes we're going to have a season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the headlines coming out right now is saying that they're hoping to start on time.
And that's what they should say, because to say anything else would be a huge blow to all these millions of football fans out here. And I think, the goal is, and hopefully they can start the season when they want to start the season. But how everyone looks, man, I don't know. People always ask me that question before we get to, training camp, where we really see what people have. So if you haven't seen them and I haven't seen them, how do I know?
Right.
Based on last year, I mean, if everybody's healthy, pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big key, especially here in Philadelphia. If everybody's healthy, I mean, you don't even know how far a team can go depending on who the people are. It's
exactly.
Any given Sunday, any given
Exactly.
game.
Exactly.
So Raja, you're up.
I'm just gonna keep asking questions as if
You back again? Is this just me and you?
Yeah, this is a nice conversation. I brought you to the party, but I just want you to pay attention to me. Have you ever been starstruck in your career? Anybody that you're just like, oh wow, I'm talking to you, or I get to interview you, or I just get to stand next to you?
Yeah. Once, not anybody I was interviewing or an athlete or whatever, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I started in radio and at a little AM radio station in Virginia, and I would come out in the lobby back in the day and, there'd be a big old concert at the Hampton Coliseum, and there's Chuck D and Flavor Flav sitting there just chilling, or here comes LL Cool J. It was just, that's radio. You never know. I mean, I took it when I was in Pittsburgh. My mom liked the OJs, so the OJs came in. So I took a picture with them and sent them to her. It's really the OJs now because Jay is in the group. So I'm used to seeing people, but the first time I got to anchor a show with Bob Lee, I was kind of starstruck because I was and still am a big Outside the Lines fan and a big journalism dude. And Bob Lee he's retired. I miss him so much, but he's like the pinnacle of journalistic excellence as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So, and I get an opportunity to do Sports Center with him, and I'm sitting there. It's a Sunday morning, and we're sitting in our grouping, we call them pods. The anchors sit with the coordinating producer and the producer and the researcher and the director. Sometimes we all sit together. We all talk about the show. It's a big old brainstorming session. We write our own stuff. So I'm sitting there writing the show, and I'm looking at the computer, and it's like thinking to myself, that's Bob Lee. And I'm writing. I'm like, I'm doing a show with Bob Lee. That's I can't awesome. Believe it. So we go to the studio, put on our microphones, and you get makeup and whatnot. And I'm sitting there, and I kind of like looking at him, and he sees me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You're Bob freaking Lee. Don't you understand it?" And I did one of those. I like touched him. I said, "That's you, right?" He said, "Stop doing that. What's wrong with you? You're crazy." So I guess he sees I'm nervous, and because I am. About 15 seconds before the show, he gives me, the fist bump, and boom. And the 4 words that changed my life forever, Bob Lee says to me, "Don't F it up." Wow. But he doesn't say F. He says the word. And it makes me laugh, and he's laughing, and the show opens, and we're laughing, and it's great. And that's my Bob Lee story, because he's just a cool professional. And my first time doing the 11 o'clock show, Steve Levy tried the same thing with me. And I said, "I already know. Bob told me, don't F it up. I get
That's
it."
Right. That's right.
That's so cool. Okay, so Jay, if people are trying to follow you like online or on Twitter or whatever, like, can you shout out some of your social media handles? Maybe some people want to start following you. How can they find you?
Jay Harris ESPN. That's Twitter. That's Instagram. Those are the main 2 that I use. I have a Facebook page, but I don't do a whole lot with it. I probably should. And I'm on LinkedIn too, but the Jay Harris ESPN, Twitter and Instagram.
Okay. All right.
All right. And we got another question from Rowan. So Rowan, go ahead.
Is this a competition? Y'all have a competition?
I think everybody's trying to see if they can have the last word. The last question.
I was just wondering, what's the biggest lesson you learned so far in your career?
The biggest lesson I've learned is to do you. And Stuart Scott taught me that lesson. Wow. Because he was one who, famously was himself. And the Stuart Scott that you saw on television was the same Stuart Scott that you would see in the grocery store or hanging out with his kids or just on the golf course. He was who he was. It wasn't an act. He was also, like I talked about Hannah earlier, people remember Stuart for the catchphrases and the booyahs and the cooler than the other side of the pillow, but he was a master journalist. I mean, the way he would prepare for a show, the way he would work a researcher to try and come up with the right information, the right little nugget to enhance his shot sheet, to make it a better story, so you at home would get a better telling of the game that you may have missed, so you could get a full story, and you could also take something so you could talk about the next morning and impress your friends with something you learned last night on Sports Center. He was that kind of guy. He was a hard worker and a great writer, and he was creative. And towards the end of his life, the National Association of Black Journalists was going to honor Stuart at a convention in Boston, and he was going to speak, and we're going to give him an award. Because of his health, he couldn't come to the convention, and they asked me if I would fill in for him. So I said, sure. So I called him and I said, "Stuart, they want me to fill in for you. What do you want me to tell them?" And he said, "First of all, you're not a blankety blank curse word blankety blank fill in. So don't ever say that. And second, just do you, man. Just be you. Just be authentic, be genuine. Say whatever you want to say. I said, okay. All right. So, I went in myself and I wrote something and I told a story and I talked about Stuart and people that have mentored me and that I've looked up to, and it worked really well. It worked really well. And being you, doing you, it sounds easy, but it can be hard because you have to have the courage to trust yourself, to put yourself out there as authentically as possible. But once you figure that out, once you find out who you are, you are so free. It just doesn't matter. People can talk about you on social media. I don't care. Whatever. Say whatever you want to say. Whatever I didn't like the way you told that joke. Fine. You don't have to. Someone else may have, or I told it from me. Okay, good. I'm fine. So doing you, being me, being your authentic self. That's the biggest lesson that I've learned and try to carry with me every day.
That was gonna be my question. Have you ever reported on something or made a joke about something and had a professional athlete be really upset about it?
An athlete?
Yeah.
No.
Never an athlete.
No, I can't remember.
Okay.
No.
Got it. Cool. Have you ever been asked to be on any like a celebrity host of like a movie? Like we're here live and they like put you in a movie or anything? Have you ever been?
I have not, and I'm really upset that I haven't been asked to do that. Hopefully someone will ask me now.
I don't see how you've been missed, to be honest.
I know I'm excellent in those This Is Sports Center commercials. I mean, I really should have gotten a couple of different acting gigs before now. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I agree. So, well, hopefully from my mouth to God's ear, I'll call you. They say, we want you to be in Space Jam 2. As, listen.
As reporter 6.
Yes. You never know. Jay Harris, everybody. Jay, thank you for taking out the time to speak with us today. What we've been doing with our speakers is we've allowed them to have the last word. So if there's any words of wisdom you want to bestow on the students, or if there's anything, maybe you have the key to life, I don't know, anything you want to drop on your gems of knowledge, it is now on you.
I'll drop this one. It's not mine. It comes from my dad, who unfortunately is no longer with us. He said when he used to watch the show, he's like, son, when I watch you on television, it's almost like you don't have a job. You're up there having fun. You know what you're talking about. So many people, they go to work, they do things that they don't want to do. They're dissatisfied with their gig, but not you. You found something that you really, really enjoy. So my little gem of wisdom is try to identify your passion. Whatever you think you would do for free, whatever makes you happy, and try and do that and make a career out of that and monetize that. Because you don't want to work. People say life is short. Life is long, man, especially if you're doing the wrong thing. So, so try to avoid that if you can. Find your passion and mine it for gold and be happy. That's my gem.
Nice. Jay Harris, everybody. Jay, you can stay on in case you are interested in any of these. But tomorrow, our speaker series continues. We got Elijah Connor, the infamous Diddy Meme. He'll be coming and talking about his time on the show, as funny. Well as sing us a few tunes. We got Vince Papale, everybody, Invincible, Philadelphia Eagles. Then we got Hall of Famer Brian Dawkins with us. So
Tell Brian I said hello. I miss Brian.
Listen, we will tell him tomorrow that you said that.
Please do. I miss him at ESPN. That was my dude.
Absolutely. And then Lee, you can take us out through the rest.
Yeah, Jordan Buhat, best known for being in Grownish. Walter E. Jones, the original Black Power Ranger. Francia Risa, she is also from Grownish and a whole bunch of other stuff. And Marquet Richardson from Dear White People. Yes. So we got a full lineup. If you haven't signed up for them yet, please sign up. Jay Harris, thank you again.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, everybody can sign off. We want to say thank you to Jay personally, and we will talk to you all later.